how in your family and your parents, how open they were to these conversations, to you sharing everything that you did, without any kind of judgment or fear. I believe that there's a lot of people that have had experiences with, whether it be their parents or their guardians, say their grandparents, and they would say maybe they hear things or see beings or see lights, like you said, like the auras and all of this. But because some people don't really know what that is or how to deal with that, and sometimes it's there's fear behind it, and so they tell their children to not talk about it, or maybe that they're lying, or that it's just in their imagination to not talk about that in public. And so children begin to just dim their light, and keep that very secretive, and then stop growing that gift that they have within. Can you share, like, what would you say to these parents that they might be watching this right now, and they are saying like, wow, my daughter says that to me sometimes, or my son tells me about these beings that they see, or what would you say to them? Because I believe that our society would be very different if we would be more open and accepting to these conversations, because it's something that has been going around forever. We just don't accept it in our society as much as I'd like to see. And because of that, we don't have these open conversations. Maybe some would say that it has become taboo at times to even have a conversation like this. So I believe it's important for someone like you, that at such a young age, that you were able to see beings, or hear or see these lights or these colors and this energy. Your dad, for example, that had these premonitions, or that had dreams of his past life. Of course, they were more open to that. Your mother being able to, find a shaman to take you to help you with, you and your dreams and sleeping, and how that helped you become so connected with all these elements. And how beautiful that was. How lucky you were to have come into this world with such loving parents that supported you and guiding you on your path. So, what message do you have for parents that maybe are listening to this right now and have children that have started saying to them, mom, dad, I see this or I hear this? What message do you have
Yeah.
for them and supporting them in what they're experiencing?
Well, I think it's so important, right? I found that when there are kids that they are scared, they're very afraid of something, or they're sensing other things that we can't explain. So as parents, we try to understand everything with our mind, and to give an answer, a rational answer. And kids are so open to this world, to energies, that we are all connected. So I think just keep an open mind to know that you don't know everything, and that everything is possible. So to listen, if it's a game, if it's a dream, if it's something it's imagined, it doesn't matter. Just be open to listen, because you don't know if that's gonna be like a window for this beautiful soul to start understanding something more deep for their soul, right?
Yeah.
Um, I a lot of parents sometimes look for me and tell me when their kids has nightmares, or they look at them that I don't know what's going on with my son. I take him to the psychologist and nothing changes. So sometimes I said to them, maybe you don't have to look in there. You need to look for other remedies. And
Right.
sometimes it's in the subtle bodies, it's in the energetic field, and
Mhm.
that's where I come. So sometimes somebody needs to be cleansed, and the kids are like a huge Wi-Fi connected to the collective subconscious as well. So you don't know if this little one is getting something that is happening next door sometimes.
Mm.
So you have to be very
Wow.
open to listen and not judge. Do not judge what the person is saying. Just be open and listen with a humble attitude. That's
Mm.
my biggest recommendation. And if this kid, um, his path is to develop this, or to use this as a service, as a purpose of the soul, that kid's gonna find his way if you are open to listen to it.
Yeah.
If you start closing it, it's gonna be harder. So, but even if the kid, or growing up denies it, when something is present and when something is meant to be, it's just gonna come out sooner or later. You cannot
Yes.
deny it. Like that in my case, I knew I had this, and so many years in my life I try not to see it, but it was so present always. So till finally I surrender, and it's like okay. And when you open to that channel, everything just starts coming, everything synchronized, because I think it's the most important part of us. Our soul, our spirit, and everything is connected. And everything is spiritual. Whatever work you do, it's spiritual. It's teaching you something, and what you come to do in this life. We're serving a higher purpose.
Mm.